Welcome, dear friends, to Cozy Cinema, where your favorite movies become the coziest bedtime stories. I'm so thrilled you're joining me tonight as we weave a little cinematic magic into a tale for sweet dreams. Before we dive into tonight's story, let's take a moment to unwind and leave the day behind. Snuggle into your favorite spot, maybe with a warm blanket or a soft pillow in hand. Now, take a slow, deep breath in through your nose, imagining the glow of a movie screen fading to calm. Hold it for a gentle second, and let it out through your mouth like a whisper of peace. One more time. Breathe in deeply, slow and steady, and exhale, letting all your worries drift away like the credits rolling. Lovely. Now, with a quiet heart, let's step into tonight's tale, a soothing retelling of the beloved film, Neighbor Totoro. It was a soft, late spring morning when Satsuki and Mei, two bright-eyed sisters, traveled by small moving truck toward a rural village. Beside them sat their father, a gentle university professor. Their mother was absent, resting at a hospital not too far away. All three hoped that living in the countryside's fresh air would help their mother recover from her lingering illness. Yet, as the bumpy road led them deeper into quiet farmland, the girls felt a warm excitement at the thought of a new adventure. Mei, who was only 4 years old, perched on the seat, her short pigtails bouncing whenever the truck hit a bump. She clutched a little box of candy, occasionally offering a piece to her older sister. 12-year-old Satsuki smiled encouragingly. She was determined to be helpful, keeping Mei calm and making sure she was safe. Their father, wearing a contented grin, loved hearing the girls' chatter and exclamations, especially whenever they spotted something interesting, like a distant farmer on a bicycle or a flock of small birds darting across a field. At last, they came to the narrow lane leading to their new home. Their father thanked the driver and hopped down. Satsuki and Mei scrambled out after him, breathing in the scent of earth, grass, and a hint of wildflowers. Ahead of them lay a quaint old house, its wooden beams slightly weathered, a mossy roof sloping under the watchful shade of a tall camphor tree. Though the house looked aged, it felt welcoming, like a patient friend waiting with open arms. The girls hurried across a little bridge to reach the front gate. In a shallow pond below, they glimpsed tiny shapes skittering through the water, perhaps frogs or tadpoles. "We'll have to explore later," Satsuki said excitedly, while Mei, eyes shining, nodded. From the nearby fields, they heard a soft rustle of leaves and the faint buzzing of insects. Everything felt so alive yet calm, as though nature itself greeted them. When they stepped inside the old house, the wooden floors creaked in a friendly sort of way. Gentle shafts of light slipped through the cracks in the walls, illuminating drifting dust. Mei, spotting piles of odds and ends, whispered, "Do you think it's haunted?" Satsuki merely grinned and said, "Maybe it is." In truth, both found the idea of a haunted house more thrilling than scary, yet they discovered something truly unusual. As they opened the doors to one shadowy room, they saw tiny black specks scurrying across the floor. The sisters gasped. These fuzzy shapes, each no bigger than a small marble, darted for dark corners in little flurries. Intrigued, Not frightened, the girls leaned closer. "What are they?" May whispered, wide-eyed. Their father, stepping through the doorway, explained softly. "In old houses, people say these are soot sprites. Little dust spirits that live in quiet places." While May blinked in curiosity, Satsuki laughed with relief. The sprites reminded her of pictures she'd once seen in a storybook. "If we fill this house with our noise and our smiles," said their father, "the soot sprites might just decide to move on." Excited by this bit of lore, the sisters promptly marched around the house, inviting the sprites to come out into the daylight. The idea of invisible, playful creatures fueled their sense of wonder. Shortly after, they met a kind neighbor, an older woman everyone called Granny. Stout and warm-hearted, Granny had come over to help. She assured the girls, "There's no need to be afraid of soot sprites. I used to see them myself when I was little." Then she reminded them of an important lesson. Old houses hold stories of their past, and if you keep a bright spirit, no harm will come to you. With Granny's help, they began tidying the place, washing windows and sweeping floors, turning the dusty rooms into comfortable living spaces. By evening, the air had cooled, and a gentle wind picked up outside. The father built a small fire under an old-fashioned bath to warm the water. Satsuki and May stepped into the steamy tub with him, exhausted yet giggly from all the excitement. May, feeling the house shake when a strong gust of wind rattled the wooden doors, clutched her father's arm. "Don't worry," he soothed, chuckling deep in his chest. "If any spirits are testing us, we'll just laugh louder than the wind." Satsuki understood that her father's joyful laughter was his way of filling the house with warmth and confidence, scaring away both gloom and imaginary ghosts. Before long, all three were splashing and laughing, the echoes bouncing off the walls. Outside, in the dark eaves, the soot sprites silently drifted up into the night, retreating toward the tall camphor tree on the hill. When bedtime arrived, the sisters spread their futons on the tatami floor. May asked quietly, "Do you think Mommy will like it here?" Satsuki assured her, "She'll love it when she's feeling better." Soon, they fell asleep, lulled by the gentle breezes outside and the hush of the countryside, a far cry from the city noise they once knew. The next day dawned bright, with golden sunlight spilling across the yard. Father announced they would visit Mother, who was staying at a hospital an easy bicycle ride away. Satsuki and May squealed with excitement, seeing their mother always lifted their spirits. They each found a spot on their father's trusty old bike. Satsuki perched near the back, and May tucked in the small seat up front, clinging firmly to the handlebars. Together, they pedaled down winding lanes, waving at friendly farmers who called out greetings. The hospital was a small, pleasant building, set amid gardens. When they entered Mother's room, the sisters raced to her bedside. Mother looked calm but a bit pale. However, the delight in her eyes at seeing her family was unmistakable. She listened with fascination while Satsuki and May described the old house, the creaky boards, and even the strange soot sprites. "That sounds like a place filled with wonders," Mother said with a soft laugh. "You'll have to show me every nook and cranny when I come home for a visit." Though she couldn't leave the hospital just yet, her optimism made the girls hopeful. Soon, they embraced her goodbye, promising to bring stories the next time they came. On the ride home, Satsuki daydreamed about how great it would be to have both parents together in the new house again, cooking meals, exploring the yard, and singing silly songs. May pointed happily at the fields, where the sun lit the tops of rippling green crops, imagining an entire summer of fun. Time flowed gently in this countryside rhythm. Satsuki began attending her new school, quickly making friends. Meanwhile, 4-year-old May stayed at home during the day, sometimes with her father, other times under Granny's watchful care. She spent her time chasing butterflies, splashing in the stream, or collecting interesting pebbles in a little bucket. Around the house, she still found acorns scattered in unexpected places, on the porch railing, by the back door, even on windowsills. One bright afternoon, May was busy picking tiny flowers in the yard when she caught sight of a small, rabbit-like creature with pointed ears and soft fur peeking out from behind a corner. It looked a bit startled, but not truly scared. At once, May felt a curious pull to follow it. The little creature padded away, dropping more acorns, as if leading her on a secret path. Intrigued, May kept following, creeping through tall grass until she found herself near the roots of that tremendous camphor tree. There, among the thick, twisted roots, she discovered a hidden opening. Gathering her courage, May wriggled inside, and in the dim, dappled light, she encountered something even more astonishing. A gigantic forest spirit, dozing quietly with a soft, rumbling breath. This creature was Totoro, large, round, covered in dense gray fur, with pointy ears, enormous paws, and a broad, comforting belly. Though many children might have felt afraid upon seeing such a huge being, May felt only a warm sense of awe. Totoro exuded a gentle presence, as if the forest itself had formed a guardian. Without hesitation, May clambered onto Totoro's soft belly, which rose and fell in a steady rhythm. "Totoro," she repeated, picking up the sound he made in his deep, sleepy rumble. The next thing she knew, she awoke in the sunshine, lying on the ground near the tree. The hidden cavern and the giant furry friend had vanished. Confused but certain of what she'd seen, May dashed around, determined to show her sister. By then, Satsuki and their father were calling for her. She led them to the spot, but no doorway or big creature could be found. Worried she wouldn't be believed, May insisted it was real. However, her father encouraged her. "I believe you," he said kindly. "Some forest spirits appear only when they want to be seen. It's a wonderful honor to meet them." From that point on, May chattered non-stop about Totoro, drawing pictures of him with crayons, describing his soft fur and gentle roar. Satsuki half wished she could see him too. Although she was slightly older and a bit more rational, deep down she yearned for something magical to take root in her new surroundings. Day by day, the girls embraced country living. They pumped water from the old well, learned to hush their voices so as not to scare fish in the stream, and occasionally helped Granny weed her vegetable garden, where enormous tomatoes and cucumbers grew. Satsuki wrote letters to their mother detailing each little discovery: the drifting dust sprites, the hidden corners of the house, and May's unwavering devotion to the story of a giant forest spirit. Whenever their father wasn't busy at the university, he joined them in exploring. They all admired the camphor tree that loomed protectively behind the house, its thick branches creaking in the wind. Sometimes they would bow respectfully to it, treating it almost like a shrine, thanking the forest for allowing them to be its neighbors. One evening, dark gray clouds gathered quickly, and a soft drizzle turned into heavier rainfall. Satsuki peeked at the clock, concerned that her father's bus might be delayed. Fearing he'd walk home in the rain, she and Mei decided to go meet him at the bus stop along a lonely country road. Mei wore a small raincoat, and Satsuki carried a borrowed umbrella from Granny's house. Standing beneath the narrow shelter of the bus stop's overhang, they listened to the steady drumming of rain on tin. Mei squirmed, growing impatient. At last, headlights approached and a bus slowed down, only to pull away again, empty of their father. As the minutes stretched on, Mei leaned against her sister, half asleep. Suddenly, Satsuki felt someone or something step into the space beside them. She turned and saw a massive furry shape towering over her, with small pointed ears and eyes blinking in curiosity. It was Totoro. He held a broad leaf over his head as if it were a makeshift umbrella, but water dripped all around him. Initially startled, Satsuki gasped, but Totoro's presence felt calm and gentle. Gathering her wits, she offered him the spare umbrella she was holding. Totoro stared at it curiously, then slowly took it. When raindrops pattered against the umbrella surface, Totoro gave a rumbling purr of delight. It was as though he found the sound utterly fascinating. Moments later, the darkness lit up again. Something else was coming down the road. To the sisters' astonishment, it was a magical cat-shaped bus, its eyes glowing in the rain. Satsuki and Mei watched wide-eyed as the cat bus halted near them, its side opening like a door. Totoro, clutching the borrowed umbrella, stepped aboard. He paused to smile at them in silent thanks, then disappeared inside. The cat bus sped away into the stormy night, leaving behind only the hush of rain. Not long after, a normal bus arrived with their father, who apologized for the delay. He was soaked, but relieved to see his daughters waiting. Mei and Satsuki spoke excitedly about Totoro's appearance in the strange cat bus. The father simply nodded in wonder, marveling at how their new life kept leading them to incredible encounters. The following morning, Satsuki and Mei found a small bundle on their doorstep, wrapped neatly in leaves and tied with fine strands that looked like whiskers. Opening it carefully, they discovered acorns and seeds of various shapes and sizes. The sisters' hearts fluttered, certain it was a gift from Totoro. Eagerly, they planted the seeds in a freshly tilled patch of earth in their yard. Each day, they watered them, checking for any sign of growth. "Maybe they're magic," Mei whispered, recalling how Totoro seemed to appear out of nowhere. Satsuki nodded, hoping to see sprouts soon. Even their father smiled, curious to see what might come of this little patch of soil. During these pleasant days, the children's mother was scheduled for a short visit home. Satsuki and Mei tidied the rooms and picked flowers for her bedside, imagining how she would laugh to see the old house and hear about Totoro. But then an unsettling telegram arrived, asking father to call the hospital urgently. Anxiety bloomed in Satsuki's chest. Their father phoned and learned that mother had developed a slight fever. To be safe, the doctors wanted to keep her in the hospital. No visit home this weekend. Crushed by this news, May burst into tears. She clutched an ear of corn she had plucked from Granny's garden, determined to give it to Mother for her health. But why can't she come? May wailed. Satsuki tried to comfort her, explaining that it was just one more delay. But May grew upset, convinced that if Mother stayed in the hospital, something terrible might happen. Tensions rose. In frustration, Satsuki scolded her little sister for being stubborn, and May stormed off in tears, clutching the corn. By the time Satsuki cooled down and went looking for her, May was missing. Distressed, Satsuki and Granny searched the house and yard, calling her name. Village neighbors were alerted. Everyone joined in, combing the fields and roads. Could May have tried walking all the way to the hospital alone? Satsuki, near tears, ran from one end of the village to the other, crossing small bridges and calling desperately, "May, where are you?" A few villagers thought they saw a little child wander by, but no one was certain. The sun hung low in the sky, and worry settled like a heavy cloak on Satsuki's shoulders. Scenes of her sister lost or hurt filled her mind. In a burst of desperate hope, Satsuki recalled how May had once crawled into the camphor tree's hidden opening. Maybe that was the only place left. Trembling, she hurried to the grove behind the house. As night shadows deepened among the tree trunks, Satsuki closed her eyes and pleaded aloud. "Totoro, if you're here, please help me." Then someone shouted that a small sandal was found by a pond. The villagers gathered nervously around the water's edge. Was it May's? Satsuki felt a surge of dread. Upon inspection, she realized it was not her sister's shoe. Relief swept through her, but where was May? The sun was starting to set, painting the sky in soft pinks and oranges. The entire day had passed in frantic searching. She followed a small path leading to the tree's enormous base. In a moment of determination, she pushed aside thick roots, almost as if trusting them to part like a curtain. Astonishingly, the space opened before her, revealing a winding tunnel into the heart of the camphor tree. She crawled forward and found herself in a dim, leafy chamber, and there, in the half-light, she saw the gigantic shape of Totoro curled comfortably amid roots and moss. Gathering her courage, Satsuki bowed her head and spoke through tears. "My little sister is lost, Totoro. She's scared and alone. Please, can you help me find her?" Totoro opened his eyes, gazed at Satsuki's tearful face, and let out a deep, rumbling roar that resonated through the entire tree. In response, the forest seemed to stir. Satsuki felt the vibration in her bones, but also felt a comforting warmth, as though the spirit of the land understood her plight. Suddenly, a rustling among branches outside announced a grinning cat bus, arriving as if from thin air, its whiskers twitching. Without hesitation, Totoro placed Satsuki into the cat bus, which meowed. "Next stop, little sister." The seats inside were soft, glowing faintly in the moonlight. Satsuki barely had time to wonder how a cat could become a bus. She simply clutched the furry interior, letting the magic carry her. The cat bus bounded across fields and breezed through thickets, the trees swaying aside in a mysterious dance. Lights flickered beneath them as they cut across farmland. Finally, It arrived at a lonely country road. There, in a dusted patch of twilight, Satsuki spotted Mei, tired, tearful, still holding her precious corn. Satsuki jumped out, embracing her sister in a flood of relief. "I'm sorry," Mei sobbed. "I just wanted to bring this to Mommy." Overwhelmed with gratitude, Satsuki thanked Totoro in her heart, promising never to let her sister wander off alone again. The cat bus beckoned again, opening its side door. Satsuki guessed it might be taking them somewhere else, and she and Mei climbed inside. With a soft meow, the cat bus sped through the darkness until they reached the hospital. The building's windows glowed gently against the night sky. Peering through a high branch outside Mother's room, they saw her talking quietly with their father. Though looking fatigued, she was smiling, telling him she felt only a small chill and planned to come home soon. Watching from the cat bus, the sisters realized that Mother was truly on the mend. There was no need for panic. Filled with love, Mei decided to leave her ear of corn on the windowsill. Though they couldn't speak to her right then, they felt certain everything would be all right. Satisfied their mother was in good hands, Satsuki and Mei softly patted the cat bus in thanks. With another gentle meow, it whisked them back home through the star-dotted sky. By the time they reached their old gate, the horizon hinted at dawn's first glow. Exhausted yet comforted, the sisters slipped inside. The cat bus vanished into the night, presumably returning to Totoro and the forest realm. Not long after, the hospital allowed Mother to come home for a short visit. The day she arrived, the sun shone brightly, and a sweet breeze passed through the open windows. Father helped her step out of the taxi, and Satsuki and Mei ran up to hug her, hearts bursting with joy. "You girls look stronger every day," Mother said, stroking Mei's hair. "It must be this good country air." As the family settled in, they found that the seeds Satsuki and Mei had planted now had healthy green sprouts. Soon, the yard would be filled with the fruits of Totoro's gift. Granny stopped by, overjoyed to see the mother looking brighter. Even Kanta, a shy boy from next door, managed a grin. The house was no longer lonely or dusty. It was bustling with laughter, shared meals, and bedtime stories. Though the sisters didn't speak aloud of the forest spirit that day, they felt Totoro's presence nearby, like a friendly guardian in the camphor tree's highest branches. Whenever the wind stirred its leaves, Satsuki and Mei smiled knowingly, remembering that a magical friend watched over them, and that they too had the power to bring wonder into the everyday world. Before bedtime, the family sat out on the veranda, gazing at the stars. Fireflies blinked in the tall grass. Father talked about the progress of his research, while Mother, still needing rest, leaned against his shoulder, happy to be with her children. Satsuki helped Mei put away a few toys, and they giggled at the memory of the soot sprites. Eventually, the sisters lay on their futons, eyes fluttering closed, lulled by the soft hush of the countryside. And if you listened closely that night, you might have heard a gentle rumble in the rustling leaves. Perhaps Totoro, perched among the branches, was singing a quiet lullaby for his new neighbors. As the moon rose and fell, the spirit of the forest stood guard under starlit skies. ensuring that the Kusakabe household was safe and peaceful. This is how the Kusakabe family found a place full of gentle enchantment, where a shy 4-year-old could play hide-and-seek with forest sprites, and a brave older sister could find help from a giant furry friend. It reminds us that courage and comfort can come from unexpected places. Sometimes all it takes is listening to the whispers of wind in the trees, or following the footprints of acorns left behind by a friendly spirit. Now, let your own eyes grow heavy. Imagine drifting through tall grass, a warm breeze at your back, and hearing the soft rumble of Totoro's breath. Feel the contented hush that settles on the countryside when day slips into night. May the memory of this gentle story carry you into a deep and peaceful sleep.